everybody, to this week's episode. We really appreciate you joining us. This podcast really shows us how we can all learn, live, and thrive off of each other. By sharing our knowledge through our conversations, we will impart some knowledge whilst learning ourselves how to progress even further. Here is your host.
Me, Terry D, and welcome to a special Around the World today with me, Terry D, and we're talking about the current coronavirus that's been sweeping across the world ever so slightly fast, but these things do happen and they do come quite quick. But the world seems to be closed. The world seems to be almost closed to business to anyone, except if you're selling food, medical supplies, but to everyone else, it's closed. What's quite weird, so I'm in Swansea in the United Kingdom, one in Wales, and shopping has changed. Life has changed, people. It's different to the way it was a month ago. It's even different to the way it was 3 months ago. That's how fast this has changed the world. But there's some hope here, isn't there, really? Do you know what I mean? We're all, if you're in the UK, we're all meant to be staying in. But I think it's come to the point, though, that people's morale after a week, after 2 weeks, seems to be dropping. I'm currently, as we're recording this, looking out the front window. Now, my front windows on the upstairs overlook Swansea Bay and one of the busiest roads. Well, I'm up on a hill, so I can oversee and I can see the cars. Do you know what I mean? I can't see them close. They're not really close, like if I was across the road. But I'm on top of a hill, so I can see down below, and down below is the city centre. And today seems to be an increase in traffic. But there again, it is nearly 5 o'clock, so you would expect an increase of traffic normally at this time for commuters, but there aren't really commuters, just office staff and hospitals. But I would have thought that they would have, started them up somehow. It just, how are you all coping with social distancing and self-isolation and that? I done my mandatory exercise today, walking around the block. Then I had to go out and do some shopping because I mucked up all of the shopping yesterday. I don't think the government had a dyspraxic in mind when they came up with the social distancing. And as you know, for Lent, I give up being being a pessimist, so always seeing the glass as empty, or always thinking the worst is going to happen. And I also give up being a pragmatist, so always, sticking with one side. Do you know something? This has been a trial. It really has. It's been 2 weeks, and for this now I'm talking about, and I've had to cut down on my media intake just because every story, and I think I mentioned this in the last episode, or the one before that actually, it could have been, but every story was concentrating on death, doom, and gloom. We're not hearing about the people who are surviving coronavirus. Now, from today, and I'm just now looking at the map of the world of the known cases, because Google are being very helpful and they're publishing this stuff. So you can go in and you can see for yourself, and I will put the list online and you can be able to see. You can see that the UK has 29,474 cases that they've tested, And okay, that has gone up. Now, according to this, up until yesterday it was at 250,000. I believe now it's at 252,000 cases. People will get this. Now it's at 454. Okay, so recovered cases are 135, where deaths are 2,352. Now, the United States has more cases than anyone else in the world. Okay, and they're going to get it by quite a bit. I've been watching a YouTuber and fellow podcaster, Dave Packman, doing the Donald Trump, or as I'm calling them, Trump and Friends, because basically it's Donald Trump in front of the media, what I call the smart people. We're backed by experts, so other smart people behind him, and him just rambling on. And we've got the same thing in the UK. It's called Boris. It's called Boris and Friends. And basically, instead of like loads of people behind him, he only has two either side. But it's still pandering to the mass people. I'm quite surprised how many people in the UK are praising the government for their handling. Meanwhile, if you're Welsh, well, there's going to be a delay in your tests. There would have been if it was left up to the United Kingdom, because basically they outbid the Welsh NHS on testing kits. Now, he's the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. In that case, he should have said to the other company, you have to do both orders. Well, they've worked it out that all four nations are actually going to order the kits together. What I would have thought would have been the way that they order stuff anyway. Do you know what I mean? To cut down, do you know it's cheaper? But hey, because when demand is bigger, when the purchase is bigger, you normally get a bigger discount. So if you're buying for the whole UK, you're getting a discount, and then you split it between all of you. It just seems to be, and then shall we talk about the lack of PPE for people? So hospitals across the country have hardly no PPE. People were donating personal protective equipment in England a lot. Now, hospitals were meant to have enough PPE for 3 emergencies, I believe. Don't quote me. Do go and check. I should have played a disclaimer before this, but sorry. But, they're meant to have enough to sustain 3 big outbreaks like this, to keep the hospital functioning. But in 2017, it was reported that because of all of the government cuts since 2010, they could never fight a pandemic on this size. So it's just quite shocking that we've got this. So how am I getting over the social distancing and like morale, especially because I suffer from depression because of my dyspraxia. Basically, it comes as part of that. So I've been told. Well, I've actually been gaming and watching a lot of stuff on BritBox. BritBox, by the way, people have 30-day free trial. They haven't paid me to say it, but it's a 30-day free trial. Really good stuff. Some old films. I've been watching Carry On films, Dad's Army, Highest of Bucket, or The Bucket Woman. It's been quite good. But 30-day free trial. Go and try it out. Most of these sites have that kind of thing. Also, Netflix is quite good. I'm going to try them over the lockdown, I think, all of the different viewing sites and see if I can watch stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a podcast about that. Like what I found out over them. Because our whole schedule has had to change. Because life has changed. We were planning to go out and get people, to interview people. So we're trying to come up with a way of doing that, and yeah, that's quite fun. So yes, it's been quite a changing time, but like I said, my morale is keeping up. I live with my mum, so basically we live together, so we would be spending so much time together. So I'm spending most time upstairs in the day, and then we come together in the night, watch TV, eat a meal, and then go to bed at separate times, and and it's working. I think there's only one day where we both just bit each other's heads off because we've spent so much time together, and that was Monday. Yeah, it's argumentative, and I was getting worried, and I turned a little bit pessimistic, so I had to just take myself out of the situation. And sometimes you've got to. Live on top of each other. You can't go into your garden, do you know what I mean, for an hour or two. Do your garden, do some painting. I've been doing some real terrier stuff and other things, gaming, watching TV. Football Manager's been free, and me and Terry have been playing. We started up a team called Heartfelt. We'll do a podcast on that later. So that would be fun. It's just keeping yourself busy. Now, working from home as well. If you're working from home, you need to treat it. Now, I've worked from home, like when we're doing Real Terrier, and yeah, I haven't. We're not that thing away about deadlines. Hell no. But, you need to take it proper. So, when I'm doing university work at home, I'm working at a desk. I'm, properly dressed. I never do my assignments in my pajamas, only if I'm, in bed, and I've just got up and I've thought of something. Like when I've been watching TV, I just grab my laptop and type. But normally, if I'm working at a desk, it would be to approach it like I'm going actually to university. So I would dress, normal, and like I would to go to class or something like that, because it's easier for your side, to think that you're in the way. You're in that mindset to work. And I think it's the same if you've got like a proper job as well. Do you know what I mean? You need to work to that mentality, so to get changed, go to work. Even if you work in a different room, there are loads of stuff happen, like videos and self-help about it on YouTube and things like that. What's quite astonishing, like I've said earlier, is the media. They're only focusing on death. We're not hearing about people getting better, and that's why I went there. And in total, there's 185,067 that have recovered from coronavirus. There are only 44,000. What's that, million? It could be million. Sorry, 185 million have recovered. Now, it could be. There is only 44 million that have died from this nasty virus, disease, apocalypse. But I've got a feeling. Okay, this is what I believe and what I think. If you're going to die, you're going to die. If you're going to catch something, you're going to catch it. You've just got to be preempt. You've got to preempt these things. So you've got to put precautions in place. And that's the way do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm when it comes to germs, no, you don't. To go into my room, I have a policy that no outside clothes. Friends, yeah. But for myself, I always wear pajamas in my room. So there's a bit where I get changed, and I have an inner and outer sanctum, I call it. But that's me personally. But yes, thank you for joining me, and that is about it for now. And we will see you soon. Bye bye.